clash we came to see. Menengate, Ideal for Real. Ideal for Real's drifting out, but he's got his head in front, trying to rally back Menengate, but Ideal for Real is too fast, and Ideal for Real beats Menengate.
Well, the time's come. Preliminary final weekend, really. It's the Vicbred Super Series semi-finals for the Pacers. 12 of them, an incredible lineup of horses. The 2-year-old colts and geldings we'll start with, and we'll go through all the categories from there, Baker. Look, I think it's the weaker of the two semi-finals, the first. That comes up race 4 at 6:30 on Friday night. Jillaby Kung Fu, I think we've both fallen in love with over the course of the journey. Other big gun here, probably Mr. Freeze, who's done a terrific job, was a little bit unfortunate in that homegrown classic final, but wins either side of it. Are you with the Kung Fu?
I am. You know what they say about preliminary final weekend too. It's one for the purists.
It is.
Often the best racing that you'll ever see, semi-finals. So can't wait for this. I think the draw has sorted them out to a certain degree in this first semi-final for the 2-year-old boys. Jillaby Kung Fu for me, he does rate on top because he's just progressed and progressed. He won the consolation of the APG. He continues to go forward. Dominant heat winner. Definitely Mr. Freeze the danger because he's the class drawn off the front row. Whether or not he gets the front, I guess, is a question mark. He's going to be shooting for it, you'd think, but there are a couple inside him that are pretty quick out. And if I was to follow one through the series, I think Macchiato will improve enormously from the first up run, but he's just drawn an awkward spot for the semi-final. But if he makes it, and he will make it to the final, I suspect, he could be one to keep in mind.
Yeah, Andrew Patrick Gather's not been backward and coming forward about his opinion of Macchiato. I think you're getting around $35 fixed odds for Friday night, and hopefully if he qualifies, you might be able to have a lash for the final. Lock and Bar Delight, Rusty Crackers. There's a number of other very good horses here, but I do think it is the weaker of the two semi-finals, particularly when you look at the other, which is a really, really strong affair coming up later in the program. What did you make of this one? Look, I thought that there were probably 3 or 4 key winning hopes.
Yeah, I'm not too sure it's definitely the form line to follow. I do quite like Jillaby Kung Fu, so I think it's pretty even. Tinjira Beach is the obvious. I mean, he had to sit parked in his heat. He still kept on kicking to the line. Shane Tritton draws the front row. He's going to be going forward. He's going to probably get the front, you'd think. If not, he'll sit parked and he'll still be very hard to beat. If you're looking for dangers, they're probably off the back row, which makes it a bit tougher. A horse like Bundy Playboy, depending on where he lands in transit, has the ability. If he's 3 pegs, he probably can only run a place if he's behind the leader. He's a potential winning chance. Our Little General is the obvious. It's just a matter of whether he has to work to the chair, come 3 wide. He was a good winner of his heat, but he wasn't outstanding. He's definitely in the mix. And then you've probably got a next bracket when you're looking for place hopes like Hashtag and Canada Bay, both enormous in their heats.
Yeah.
Just a matter of whether they can step up to this class. Really good race. I'm with Tinjira Beach. Not a whole heap of confidence though.
My confidence keeps growing. I'm definitely with Tinjira Beach, and I think the draw is the key here, when at least as big, if not bigger, than Our Little General, who would have come into this series, I think, as the clear #1 seed after the scratching of his stablemate, the Storm inside. I think Tinjira Beach was terrific, had the race shot to pieces, and just allowed Our Little General to get on his inside and get up late. But I think that's by far the strongest qualifier for this series. I've got him on top in this semi-final, Tinjira Beach. I think he'll get the job done. Rapper's Delight, let's not forget about him. He was terrific, copped a lot of pressure in his seat, draws outside the second line. Other key runners here, Solid as a Rock for Emma Stewart, and as you mentioned, a couple that have really popped up in the heats, Hashtag and also Canada Bay. So really looking forward to the 2-year-old colts and geldings. We're both with Tinjira Beach and Jillaby Kung Fu, but I think we'll learn a fair bit more on Friday night at Tabcorp Park.
What price would you have them head-to-head for the final right now?
No, I'd be very hard with the draws, wouldn't it? I think the draw will make the difference probably between those 3, Tinjira Beach, Our Little General, and also Jillaby Kung Fu. So I'll reserve judgment until we see what happens on Friday night. The 2-year-old fillies is a really interesting category. It's been shuffled back right at the end of the program, so you want to make sure you're still watching from 10:07 onwards here. By far the strong of the 2 semi-finals this time occurs first. A number of the winners of the heats, and I speak particularly of Perfect Sense, Spectacular, and one that I've fallen in love with on the basis of 1 run, Guilty Hanover, but unfortunately draws inside the second line, which I'm not in love with that draw. But where have you gone here? I think that probably Perfect Sense has got the score on the board. The APG seems to be the key form line.
Well, it's a preferential barrier draw. Let's make no mistake about it. It might be random by name, but preferential by nature for sure and certain. I think it probably turns into a bit of a messy race because of the fact that those big guns are drawn awkwardly. They're only 2-year-olds doing that sort of work mid-race in a semi-final. It's not the final. I'm not sure I want to have a great bet in the race. I think obviously Perfect Sense and Spectacular are the two. They've both been terrific all season. Really good 2-year-old fillies. Probably not a lot between them. Artara, we've heard from David Aiken, it's one of his better 2-year-old fillies, and she's got gate speed, so she'll probably find the top early. If she goes around $15, I'd certainly be throwing her in somewhere. And you've mentioned Guilty Hanover. Our Celebrity isn't far off them. So look, I can see why there's probably a gap in the market. I'm just not sure it's a race I'm overly keen to be involved in.
Well, this will be the key semi for mine in terms of looking towards the following Saturday night on the finals. You can have Artara. I'm not interested in Artara. I'm not sure she's got an enormous will to win at this stage of her career, and I think she might be a short course horse just at the moment as well. They got past her pretty comfortably in her heat. She ran second,
Only one of them, yeah.
But she probably could have easily run fourth, really, because a couple of the others interfere with each other. So not with Artara here, and with Perfect Sense. I just think that's the safest way to play. She's got the score on the board, but I think Spectacular was huge. I expected her to go forward. She went back and was still able to easily round up Our Celebrity. So hard to see that horse turn the tables on Spectacular. And I've already mentioned, got a massive opinion of Guilty Hanover, a daughter of one of my favourite little mares from yesteryear in Gilt Bromac, and seems to have a similar turn of foot. So pretty excited to see her go around. Hopefully she gets just a hint of fortune from that awkward gate 8 draw. The second of these semi-finals isn't as strong for mine, and to be honest, I think Kiang Secret's pretty much got a mortgage on it.
She was very good in her heat. She sat behind the lead. Couldn't quite reel in Perfect Sense there, but she's been so good all season, Kiang Secret. But one that I've got some time for, and I know you're not quite as keen as me, Seaside Beauty. Now, I know on paper her run-on debut probably doesn't look outstanding, but she did sit parked there and she got knocked off balance halfway up the straight. I'm pretty confident she was about to reel in. I think it might have been Artara in front of her. Either way, she was still okay to the line, but I think she could have done a lot more if she was given a true run at the line. So I'm with Seaside Beauty at about $8. I thought she was going to be the hardest to beat, and she's of course out of the mare Beauty Secret, who we've only seen recently doing some wonderful things for the Stewart camp. So she's well bred, Seaside Beauty. I think she'll improve off that first up run, and there's something about her that I really do like. Kiang Secret is the obvious danger. Courageous Katie, I know, is one that you found, and she may get a lovely run in transit. She got knocked down in that Seaside Beauty race when she was making good ground, so keep her safe. And Soho Angel won her heat. You can't do any more than that. I'd be throwing her somewhere into the mix. Really good race for me. I think it's probably more appealing than the first semi-final because I do like Seaside Beauty.
The only two I'm going to mention that you haven't, Mammal's Magic, who I think is a better chaser than a leader. So what you saw in the heat, I think if she's able to sit back and come with one run, she'll be more effective. Same can be said, I think, for Wonga Jats. It was a really impressive trial when it wasn't too bad at Shepparton. Then last start had to face the breeze. I think if they get cold runs at the leaders, they won't be too far away. But you've mentioned I'm half keen on Courageous Katie to run second. I think Flying Moth's a great chance of leading, and if Courageous Katie gets that gun run in behind the leader, she might be the major threat to a horse I think will almost certainly win there in Kiang Secret. We now move on to the classic age paces, starting with the 3-year-old boys. And the first race in the program is, of course, for the 3-year-old Colts and Geldings at 4:51 p.m. Early start here. And again, we've got slightly lopsided semis. This looks to be the easier of the two. I think it's a 2-horse race. No doubt Brello's Pass has got the score on the board. Is he a world certainty?
I don't know that he's a world certainty, but I do think he's overs at $1.80. I think that he is.
That sounds like you're saying he's a world certainty.
Well, if they're $1.30, it's not a world certainty, but no, I do think he's very hard to beat. Brello's Pass. He's been terrific all through his 2- and 3-year-old campaigns. Really honest horse, and as you say, he's drawn the weaker semi-final. So depending on what happens earlier, I can still see him getting to the breeze pretty comfortably. No one's going to really hold him out from that position, and I think he'll be too good based on what he's been doing. I'm looking away from Soho Tribeca a little bit in terms of dangers. I know that he's got a reputation and he's been okay, but I'm just not sure he's hitting the line as well as he could. Yes, he did work last time, but I'm not sure about him. I'd want to see this run from him to be absolutely certain he's right there. I thought Victus was really good last time, improving type. Carter Bromac could improve. I know he's got gate speed. Whether he can get across first Glacier Heights or Glacier Heights waits for another one to get there, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if he improved Carter Bromac at big odds. And then horses like Keep On Rocking are somewhere thereabouts and Brock's Territory. But for me, Brello's Pass definitely the one to beat.
He is the headline horse here. I do think the only way maybe he gets beaten is if Soho Tribeca can stay in front of him early. We know that the puppet's not afraid to make a mid-race move on this horse. If he was able to whip around, take the front, and Brello's Pass had to sit outside him, we'd have a race in our hands here. I think the rest are probably a little bit below those top two in terms of class, although Keep On Rocking continues to improve. And I think Jeff Webster is pretty happy with where this horse is at the moment. He will need some fortune from the draw, but he's a pretty handy customer. And Brock's Territory at his best. He wasn't too far off these as a 2-year-old. He's had 2 runs back. He might be ready to peak Third run back from a break and third run back from a break here after just a moderate performance last time out. The second of the 3-year-old Colts and Gelding semi-finals, I think, is the race of the night. 5 or 6 key winning hopes. I like Senor McRae, but I could entertain probably 3 or 4 others. Who are you in?
I'm not too sure. I'd probably lean to Battleborn early, but there have been money for him, $8.50, I think, into $6. I'd prefer to be on at the $8.50, obviously. I think he's about his right price now. But he was mixing it with the older horses. I think he dead heated with Stay and Play a couple of starts ago, then won his heat when he had a few things go his way, but still a really strong winner. Back to the front row here. He can go forward early. I was really impressed with I See Nothing last time. I wasn't quite sure he was up to that level, but what he did when beating Don't Hold Back and Co was really strong through the line. So I'd certainly be throwing him right into that mix with Senor McRae, who's just a really honest customer. He wants to find the line. He's really tough. He can sit anywhere in transit. And Don't Hold Back's the big question mark runner. He's got the X factor. He's got the speed, the talent. He was a bit flat last time to my eye. I didn't think he finished off as well as he can. But maybe better driven with a sit. I guess we'll find out tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm with Senor McRae. I just think he ticks all the boxes. He's only won one of his past 5, but he's been terrific every time he's gone around. He'll just float out. My speed map says that Battleborn and I See Nothing will both burn. I can see Battleborn leading, I See Nothing getting the nice trail, and then Senor McRae's going to have to work up to probably find the breeze. And from there, I think the other 2 key runners, Don't Hold Back, might just restrain and come with 1 run. And I think it would be Spirit Rider's job to try and get on Don't Hold Back's back. So I think they're the 5 key winning hopes. I don't think there's a stack between them. Only fortune might separate them at the finish, but I'm going with Senor McRae on top. And I do think at odds, at around $11 or $12, Spirit Rider might be the best each way play in the race. He is a very, very handy horse. We move on now to the 3-year-old fillies. It's a very similar case here in terms of slightly lopsided semi-finals, but the first of them is coming up there in race 2, and this is the better of the 2. I'm very, very confident. I've come up with about $1.30 for Rock and Roll Magic. I think that is farcically, ridiculously short for a race where there's 4 key winning hopes. Do you think the favourite's just over the line, or are you with me?
No, I'm with you. She's not over the line. She deserves favouritism, no doubt about it. She's got a few tricks up her sleeve. She showed a couple of starts ago she can jag at the start, come with 1 run. She showed last time she can lead and win. So there's not too many chinks in her armour, but I'm just not sure you want to be taking $1.30 in a semi-final where there's speed all around her. So I think you're of the belief there's a good chance Rockstar Angel will kick up inside her and find the top first. Won't be handing over, you wouldn't have thought. That brings her right into play. But the one that I reckon I might have found is Nikki Badwagon. Now, she was beaten last time after putting through a string of wins together. Don't worry about that defeat because she was 3 wide down the back in a 27-9 third quarter. And she kept fighting all the way to the line. She hit the front and just got nabbed late. Really big run, Nikki Badwagon. I know she's drawn awkwardly. Wouldn't be surprised if she went and played Enforcer, got to the breeze at some stage. And if she does, I think she can win. She's $15. She's the one for me. But Rock and Roll Magic, Rockstar Angel, and Platinum Power, all thereabouts. And I think Alessa will only improve from the first up run. Was a touch unlucky late. Just drawn awkwardly. Maybe a good place chance in a final at big odds.
Just 4 horses I'll be throwing in here, and they're all winning chances in the final draw dependent. I'm with Rockstar Angel. I think Mick Bellman, if he wants to get aggressive at the start, will be able to burn off or at least intimidate Platinum Power into giving him the front. And from there, he can park Rock and Roll Magic, and then life becomes tough for a horse at $1.30. So Rockstar Angel, particularly if it found the front and it got a breather, got a little bit of peace. I can see Rock and Roll Magic's a massive chance, but it's no $1.30 hope for mine unless somehow it just cruises to the lead, and I can't see that scenario happening. And the other 2 key chances, Nikki Badwagon, who's definitely the best fixed odds value in the race at around $15. And Dancing with Sarah should not be forgotten because she's never far away, and at some stage she's going to get the right fortune in one of those races and she's going to beat these fillies. So all 4 of those I'll be throwing in my early quaddy, and all of them I think can win the final. Only 2 of the horses from the second semi-final I think can win the final, and I think they will thoroughly dominate the semi-final. I think you've got a slightly differing opinion to me. I think Emma Stewart holds all the aces. The way I see it playing out, Celebrity Guest finds the front, probably hands over to the stablemate Whirly School, and from there they should run 1, 2 in whichever order you're so inclined to think might happen. I think Whirly School will probably win. You think there might be a little blowout here?
I just think if there's one race on the card where we'll see the favourites go under, this could be it. Now, what I'd start by saying is that yes, they'll probably lead and be behind leader or lead and breeze, and they should control the race either way, the $2 10 chances fixed odds. So they do have every advantage, but it just looms as one of those races to my eye. Call it a fresh hunch or whatever you like. I just could see a horse like Albietta.
Stewart's got that copyrighted.
True. Albietta, couldn't done any more last time. She was in back play and they ran home a really quick last quarter, and she kept sticking on Even All My Savings, similar story. Flojo's Gold is going okay, as is Courageous Call. So I don't want to be getting too involved. If you're playing early quaddie, I'd definitely advise you to split it up and play it a couple of different ways, because yes, the favourites deserve to be there, but I could see it going a different way.
I love it when we argue, Baker. 4-year-old Enticing Geldings is the penultimate division that we'll be looking at on this terrific semi-final program at Tabcorp Park on Friday night. 3-horse race this for mine, and I'm with my mate TCB McRae. I think things pan out perfectly for him. Solar Sonic should find the front. Murrinjai track seems to only be able to be driven one way very aggressively, and he pulls once you run him off the arm anyway. And then if he doesn't put the pressure on, Menengate will do the job for TCB McRae. So he's going to settle midfield, rip with one 600 metre burst, and I think he'll be too good.
Well, you've half talked me into it. I didn't have a strong opinion on the race before we came into the studio. Solar Sonic I did like. I thought the way he defeated Menengate and the Culture a couple of starts ago was awesome, and he should probably find the front again. So I don't think there's anything against Solar Sonic, but as you say, they really do work him over. If Murrinjai track goes up and pours it on and Menengate wants to get to the breeze, then I can see a scenario, as you say, where TCB McRae is Johnny on the spot and gets over the top of them. All the big guns, Menengate, you give him a winning chance, he goes into quaddies for sure, as does TCB McRae and Solar Sonic. I'd probably cut it there. I do think Soy and Wasabi's a little underrated and could be a nice horse going forward, just the draw hurts. So really intriguing race this, and I know you don't mind Modern Bliss at each way odds as well.
Yeah, just a jump and run horse and one Soy and Wasabi. A very good horse and a big performance in the heat, but I think the second row draw probably rules him out as a winning hope on Friday night in the first of those two semi-finals. The second semi-final doesn't look as strong or deep, but it has got the intrigue factor with the likely hot favourite Ideal for Real drawn inside the second lining. It probably just pops off and dominates. But Mr. Wickham was very, very good winning his heat of this series, and does look like he will get to the front. Are you pretty confident that he'll find the lead, Mr. Wickham?
Probably. I think Stagger Lee potentially will be first there. I'm not sure he'd love handing up. He may do so, he may not. Either way, I don't want to offend anyone, but I think there's probably a world between Ideal for Real and Mr. Wickham. Yes, Mr. Wickham has always had the ability, and he showed it last time that he's somewhere near his best, but Ideal for Real, he was otherworldly last time when he defeated Menengate and Co. So he's a big monster. He's pacing a lot better now, I think, and if he does everything right and he doesn't get hemmed in away along the pegs, he's probably the horse to beat in the overall series. If not, he's in the top two chances. Ideal for Real. He's back. He's a New South Wales Derby winner, clearly on top for me. Mr. Wickham, Stagger Lee, definitely next level and definitely to be played in your trifectas. And then maybe a horse like Black and Brown at big odds. I know you're not too worried about him either. He could be somewhere thereabouts. I'd be throwing him in for third or fourth. But yeah, Ideal for Real for me, quite clearly on top.
Tell you what, he's a funny horse. I reckon he might only be pretty small, Ideal for Real. He seems like a big horse the way he races, but he's just a very, very talented customer. He's got speed like very, very few horses have. Should get off the inside, can race tough if he needs to. I think he'll be too good. Mr. Wickham, the obvious danger. I think Stagger Lee and Repeat After Me, and even our Sir Ivanhoe and Black and Brown, they're all place hopes, but they won't be troubling the big guns. Particularly Ideal for Real. The last category we're going to look at for this wonderful semi-final program at Tabcorp Park of the Super Series is the 4-year-old mares. And the first of these semi-finals is a dead set cracker, and it's pretty much a battle between three Emma Stewart runners. And the beauty of these three, they're very, very different horses. Delight Me's the very strong customer. It was unbelievable what she did in her heat win, particularly when they thought she might be a run short.
Yep.
Starburst Girl's a speed machine.
Yep.
And Love List is a bit of both. So which way are you headed?
My head probably tells me that Delight Me's the horse to beat, but my heart says I've already knocked off the price about Starburst Girl, so I thought she came up silly odds at $5.50. I don't think there's a lot between them. If she finds the front Starburst Girl, I do think she'll be really hard to beat. Loveless drawn inside her, what happens at the start? I do think Starburst Girl can really burn. She probably takes 50 metres to wind up, but when she goes, I reckon she'd probably find the front Starburst Girl, and under that scenario, she's been in terrific form, running time at Melton, beating good horses, so no reason she can't knock off her stablemate, but heaps of respect for Delight Me. She's always been a star, and she's back now. She's doing it at her best, and Loveless the other key chance. You probably can end it there for your quaddies, but they're the big three, and I'm with Starburst Girl, but maybe the heart speaking over the head there.
I think they're the only three that can win. They're the only three that can win probably the series. This is by far the stronger of the two semi-finals. I'm going with Starburst Girl as well. But having said that, you know what I'd love? I'd love to find a market for an all-in market for the final and back Delight Me now, because if she comes out and obliterates these, which is every chance will happen,
even money at best.
She'll be even money at best, because I've got no doubt she's the best mare in the race.
Yep.
The best mare in the series, but this being a semi-final off the second line with Starburst Girl and Loveless both getting a good advantage on her from their draws, this might be the chance for them to beat Delight Me, but I think Delight Me, if it just comes out and wins, this will be far too good in the final. So wonderful clash between the 3 horses. It'll be interesting to see just what order they come in, but I can't see anything else in the race causing too many concerns. We have respect, of course, for the defending champion Morton Plains, also Midstream and Vicbred and a couple of others. The second of the semi-finals for the 4-year-old mares. Look, it isn't quite as strong, but it's an intriguing race, very, very tough to work out. Maybe the toughest race of the night.
Yeah.
Is there a chance here for the ultimate bridesmaid, Boadicea Fury, who runs second every time she goes around, of actually breaking through in a big race?
She could. She'd probably time her run to perfection because she's drawn really well. I did stick with MS Stewart in the end. I thought Stay and Play. I've always had a really good opinion of her, and she's racing right at the peak of her powers. I know she's drawn the second row and there's class drawn everywhere, but I just think she may have a mini edge on them. But as you say, not a lot between most of them. Snip of Grand, drawn the front row, will be barrelling forward, may even find the top, and if she does, she'll be hard to catch. Boadicea's Fury's there about. Counting Evening Rose is racing well without a lot of luck. I'd be throwing her into multiples, but Stay and Play each way for me, not overly keen to be involved.
Sometimes when there's not a lot between horses in a race like this, I think it's okay to go with your heart over your head. And my two favourite horses in the race, Snip of Grand, I've loved all the way through, and she's really racing at the peak of her powers at the moment. I see no reason why she can't be in the finish. And I have got a soft spot for Boadicea's Fury, which sounds funny from a punter loving a horse who runs second every time it goes around, but I think it tries its guts out. It's got a good turn of foot, and it should get every opportunity. But we've mentioned the other potential winners: Keying, Ebony Rose, Bridie Valentine's one we didn't mention, Stay and Play, even Mistress of Illusion. It was a little bit disappointing last start, but certainly has a fair bit of ability, and if it got it all right, it'll be somewhere in the mix as well, although I can't see any horse. Can you see any horse from the semi-final testing those 3 from the other semi-final in the final?
If Stay and Play drew the pole and everything went to her favour, I could potentially see her blowing that, but very unlikely, I would have thought.
I'm giving you $100, Baker. Give us the one bet. If you're at Tabcorp Park tomorrow night, as both of you and I will be, where are we playing?
Last time we did this, we missed narrowly with Millie Perez, but I'm going to best bet Nikki Badwagon. I think she'll be winning race 2, number 13. She's $15 fixed odds. Very keen that she'll be going close. So we'll go straight out. We'll be brave and hope we can get the coin there.
Oh, you're a pig. You've left me in a situation where I can't tip a $2.20 shot. So I'll go 50 each way. I'm guilty, Hanover. I know it was probably the weakest of the heats, but I just was astonished with how quickly she picked up her rivals. And I'm not sure it's the strongest 2-year-old fillies division of all time. So an opportunity there for the daughter of Gil Braymack potentially in the penultimate race in the program. This is about as good as it gets. I know the finals are next weekend, but this is going to be just awesome on Friday night at Tabcorp Park. Hope to see you out there. If you're not, good luck and good punting.